potential, and Renekton to match it up into potentially the Baron lane.
A very good compositions coming in from the side of EVOS Esports. They can actually go for something that's more team fight oriented as well. Now that they've got all the champions all set, I want to see how would this Lee Sin on SBTC side sets the tempo in the jungle. And in fact, this will be pretty much the very first game here. And in Group A, who will take the very first point? Is it going to be EVOS Esports Thailand or SBTC Esports as we zoom into game number 1?
And this is going to be pretty much intense as you stated. Valdo's using the Fiora jungle. And recently with the new changes in the patch 2.3, I think this is a more viable option currently in the current meta. Because having a smite in your pocket will mean that you have extra mana regeneration in the river and even in the jungle camp. So Fiora can just spam out his kills, not even risking losing mana to go for an aggressive play.
Bottom side sees a little bit of a push, and Miracle has to pop the flash immediately just to get into safety. No first blood just about yet. Less than a minute, and we're already seeing both sides really testing the aggressions that they could possibly pull up on each other. And heading in towards the itemization, both sides of the sport will traditionally go into the boots for a quick upgrade into towards any enchantments. But Tipper, he's going to be having a little bit of lead, but he doesn't want to take the dive just about yet. Barrier already being used up. Oh, we do see a flash. That might just be first blood for EVOS Esports Thailand.
Now, that was an amazing play coming from EVOS Esports. I think Tipper was really issuing what's going on into the Baron lane. Minutes was very low. And on top of all that, I think what he wants to do is utilize the Grasp when dying to really survive much longer, to really gain that gold from the farm that he has. But Tipper doesn't really care about it because he is risk tolerant. You have Fiora, Valdos in the top side of the map. So if ever Tipper gets a counter engage from Minas, we have Valdos to just go for the support, go for the quick response, and go for the kill. So I think that is how EVOS Esports is playing towards the strong side of the map. They're considering how much number advantage they have in a specific side. But here, 3-man roam from SBTC might look EVOS Esports in danger.
As we can see from here, EVOS Esports will be unfazed. They've already had the hindsight by just dropping the ward over on towards the golems, as there wouldn't be enough wave clear from the side of SBTC Esports to be able to shove the wave in time for that real early game dive. It's still pretty much 2 minutes into the game, and level 5 has already been, of course, achieved from the side of TF, where he could easily go in to just start the fight with a Dragon's Rage. Now, Minas is getting a little bit of attention coming in from the Fiora, and once again, Tipper just playing extremely aggressively, forcing Minas to hug the turret.
Oh, we have TF.
Oh boy. A little bit dicey here. I believe that they don't really want to go all in by the top side of the corner map. And as we can see from the itemization, Bombi Cinder already being completed by the Garen of SBTC Esports. I believe that he'll be working towards the Sunfire Cape eventually. And this will be a very early completion of the Mount Immune as well for SBTC.
Yeah, definitely. And on top of all the items, you also have Tear of Goddess for a Julie. So I'm hoping, or I'm thinking, that he will build up into a Seraph's Embrace. But as you stated, with a Manamune already locked in for Kiral, I think this is a huge core item coming into the first 4 minutes into the matchup, right? Having a Manamune means that you have a faster ability haste coming into a team fight. And considering that Varus is a spammy champion already with his first skill, with his Q, I think that is an extra damage potential when it comes to the backside damage. So I think SBTC Esports can utilize that very well. But on top of all that, when you're considering the items, G4 already has the Luden Cycle, fast clear wave potential. But mid lane,
oh boy, Valdez now going on a little bit of a challenge with Julie on the other side. Of course, the man is a little bit ahead of his time, if you want to call him July. And Tipper will be able to actually help secure EVOS Esports a Skullo over on top side of the river. With the very first Drake being spawned up, it will be a Fear 1 in form of Infernal Drake. But EVOS has already made their way right down below, and they will have more members to actually fend off the likes of SBTC for now. Just a little bit of the bouncing bombs being dropped out from the Zigs, and they will look for a slight reset. Now, as it stands, both sides are pretty much even Stevens right now. Oh, beautiful stun as they will force a flash from Akano. Now, with having the Braum backing away, this should be a easy dragon if they really want to commit. But then again, SBTC Esports notice this with pretty much wards already being set up all across. I believe that they don't really want to take too much of a risk.
And no one can give it free as well to any of these teams because that is the Infernal Drake. So that will give you extra 6% damage bonus, and that will increase the scaling potential of how these champions would work throughout the 12-minute mark, the 13-minute mark, and that is a huge potential for you to try and dominate the late game type of scenario. And now with Minas having the Sun for Aegis, GA already for TF, I think this would allow them to be more aggressive in this early game potential, with TF having some more risky movements, but never really hoping or risking his life to it, because you have the Guardian Angel that is sort of an extra key play for them to use out when it comes to the 5v5. So I think that is something that SBTC is looking forward into. And I think EVOS Esports as well. Domestically, they are known to be a very aggressive team. And now they're going for the Infernal Drake, considering SBTC Esports is there as well. And we might see the aggression coming into it.
Oh, speaking of which, this will be the Sonic Wave already connecting, and now they don't for Ponchiro looking for the takedown, and that will be it. One kill in from side of EVOS Esports as they're looking to lock down Valdez as well. A beautiful shockwave will connect on top of EVOS, and Minas having his health down low, he will retreat, and this is
engage from SBTC Esports with the form of TF and Julie with a shockwave as well. But that was over the wall. They have they need more time to actually go around the jungle camp onto the choke point to try and reach out EVOS Esports. And if you're looking at the spells, all the flashes are gone. So I think they're really handicapped onto really reaching out onto EVOS Esports, and they really did a good job when it comes to counter engaging SBTC Esports as well, with G4 just hovering into the backside. And this is the knowledge that he has, right? You have to know what you need to do and where you need to be in terms of positioning.
Good positioning. You can see that EVOS Esports will have to back away now. 50% health on the Drake. TF might be able to actually secure it, but here comes a beautiful Dragon's Rage on top of Valdez, and this will be a Dragon heading over to EVOS Esports with a steal, but the Fuhrer will go down nonetheless. A little bit more of a better skirmish coming out of SBTC Esports to secure the kills, but they did not manage to take the objective that they needed.
Yeah. EVOS Esports got the Infernal Drake, but at the cost of 2 members of their team. And I think how SBTC Esports done it is Miracle was so low. When he was low, that is when he used the quickness. And having that quickness as a very essential ultimate for EVOS Esports to try and set up the play was not utilized that very well. Thus, considering that he was dead, EVOS Esports lost a lot of CC potential to match it up against SBTC Esports, wherein they utilized that very well to get another kill onto Valdez. But regardless, the Infernal Drake giving in to them is a huge potential when it comes to the mid-game, late game.
SBTC just a few seconds too late to get a chance on the Rift Herald, but they will be able to secure the Skull nonetheless. Now, 4 members commit towards the top side of the map, and they should be able to take this down, as EVOS Esports did not want to contest. So that will be pretty much a very good lead when it comes down to the number of turrets being secured by SBTC Esports. This will also allow them to open up a lot more areas of the jungles if they were to invade to get a little bit of a catch.
Yeah, and they need to come back into what was lost a while ago, right? They were at a disadvantage on a 1k gold deficit, 2k gold deficit, and having that Tower First Blood and also a tower in the Baron lane means that they have enough gold from the turret plates and also securing the objective to come back to it. And I'm expecting maybe some of the champions from SBTC has used up a mastermind onto their runes that actually gives you 120 more gold than you actually do when you don't have it. So I think SBTC Esports right now is looking at a very good state wherein they match the gold lead of EVOS Esports coming into this 9 minute and 40 seconds of the match.
Well, EVOS Esports They understand the dangers of diving a Garen. Definitely not the best case scenario, especially when the rest of SBTC Esports is nowhere to be seen on the map. Baron will be spawning in a few seconds from now, but it's a little bit too early to challenge that. So SBTC Esports look to break. Both sides will fall back. SBTC does not want to overextend. Mega Infernal Bomb will not connect to any members of SBTC.
And SBTC Esports just have a lot of big AoE CC totals. Julie has the Shockwave. You have Akano with the Glacial Fissure as well. Minas with the Magician Justice to actually go for huge damage potential. So I think that's something that SBTC Esports has against EVOS Esports, right? And on top of all that, you also have the Chain of Corruption from Kiral to go for the root. So I think SBTC Esports is really at an advantage when it comes to the 5v5.
I would definitely agree with that, and they really have to look out for all these chain crowd controls to also avoid that. We won't be really seeing too much of the Quicksilver enchantment to be built up when it comes down to the competitive play for either side of the region. As you can see from the list, you have the Pro Val on Valdis, which is relatively interesting, which we have not really seen before, even back in Baron Lane, which usually they would opt for a teleport, or at times, even the stasis enchantment.
But I do think that Proto Build Enchant was picked up because EVOS Esports, with Valdez going to the jungle, he needs to secure more of the distance game against SBTC Esports, considering that he is matching up against TF in the jungle. So I think having the Proto Build Enchant gives him a little bit more distance to cover in when it comes to those objective games in a 5v5.
Exactly, and also to add on top of how you can effectively, of course, look for the bottle procs coming in from each direction when he opens up the Grand Challenge. Now, Drake number 2 has spawned. This will be the Mountain Drake, but EVOS Esports is looking to give this one up in exchange with an attempt of that Mega Infernal Bomb, not really snatching it away from SBTC. Beautiful knockup, and G4 turns golden for his life moment. Tier 2 up top, it's gonna be crushed down instantly, but for SBTC Esports, they're on a hunt. Will they be able to pick up a couple of kills over on Valdez or even Tipper?
I think EVOS Esports was doing the ideal play here because the SBTC was just going in for the 5-man roam into the mid lane, so they have a shorter distance to cover coming into the Mountain Dragon, but now a fight in mid lane.
Beautiful quickness coming in, connecting on top of Akano, but he has managed his way out by forcing a flash out and, of course, hopping back to his teammates. So that should just be all that EVOS could possibly do. Just a little bit of dance over the mid side, sure, with no heavy commitment from either side, but SBTC Esports is looking to bring a lot more attention towards the mid lane, while there's more members of EVOS Esports now trying to hunt out Minus over on the top side. I won't really see a point of doing so because there's not too much of a major objective, but if they were to be able to actually pick one member up, it could actually lead to a call for the Baron.
Yeah, I mean, having the state of the game very close in terms of gold lead, only 2k, this is really valuable even on a single kill.
Dragon's Rage lands on top of the Ziggs, and G4 goes down. He has already popped the stasis enchantment, so he won't be able to survive, even if he does have the flash. Now, Bruce is going to be stopping any sort of the aggressiveness coming in from TF, and here comes dicing right in as they all jump on top of SBTC Esports. That's a little bit too late as they will look to set up a dive. They don't care about the turrets. Valdez will be able to chop them all up. Now it's 9-5, and EVOS Esports holds a slight lead of 3,000 in gold difference.
Slice and dice, Tipper coming in, and now mid lane once again.
Oh boy. It seems like this is never going to end at this rate, but there will be the Guardian's Angel left available for TF. Tipper still looking to proc it all up, and he could potentially get a double kill out of this, but the turret is all that EVOS Esports is looking for, and this will be able to at least get them a little bit more control all over the mid lane.
And now, from that engagement, it was a 2-4-1 in favor of EVOS Esports, and SBTC was only able to secure G4, and that was the mid laner but they lost their mid lane and their ADC on top of all that. And now EVOS Esports having that security onto those kills means that they have a lot in preparation for SBTC Esports, and they got the two turrets that they were hoping for. That was the mid lane tier 1 and the tier 2 top lane in the past couple of minutes. And that means they have a lot of gold that they can utilize, and now they're at the 4k gold lead, which is a lot considering that we are in the 15-minute mark of the game, and they need every single thing that they could get away from SBTC Esports, considering that they have a lot of tanky champions. And I think the reason why they built a triple B arcade graph composition into their items is because of Minas and also Aquino available for SBTC Esports, building onto a Garen and a Braum with like a tanky type of item composition.
I like the fact that you actually pointed that out. This will also mean that they could easily tread down this Baron in real swift time, and it seems like SBTC won't even get their hands all over the Baron at all, and EVOS Esports will look to reset. There's only very little HP on the mid lane turret, and now with the TP coming up, Tipper's gonna be in the slight trouble. Slice and dice just to get away. He doesn't really have to commit a flash for that. Now, this is where another major fight might just happen here over the Dragon, and it's already 16-minute mark, so this Elder Drake will definitely add up in terms of the true damage that they could potentially output in those team fights.
But with the Baron buff from EVOS Esports, they can just go for lane pressure, and after then, go for the Ocean Drake if they want to.
Yeah, it's just making sure that they just take out many of all these minion waves just to set things up perfectly. But you can tell that SBTC Esports is also ready by dropping in quite a number of river wards right down below. There is a huge wave coming up top as well as bottom, so SBTC Esports will have to juggle the pressure from all fronts. Now, for the members of EVOS Esports is looking to secure the Elder Ocean Drake.
And this is what we're talking about a while ago. EVOS Esports pressures in all lanes, they could go for the Elder Ocean Drake then after. So I think this is something that we need to look forward into.
Oh, Chain Corruption connects, and this is where there will be the killer instinct being popped up. Captain gets a double as they hunt out for Miles. He's looking for the steal, but it will not be it. EVOS Esports absolutely crushes it, and over the top side, Timber is looking to end the game by hitting down the Nexus. And the very first point in the group stage of Group A will go to EVOS Esports of the Thailand region.
What a mind game from EVOS Esports. They were playing it against SBTC. They went in for the 4-1 setup where Renekton is going just onto the Baron lane, just slicing and dicing onto those turrets. And considering that they have the Baron buff, they have the security no matter what. Even if they lost the Ocean Elder Dragon, they still have the potential to go for the inhibitor turrets. That is a lot to take in, and I think that is the reason